She was like, I never assume someone can hold me and my emotions until they have consented to doing so. Oh my God, how often are we frustrated because someone is not holding our emotions the way we want to? But one, they haven't consented, and two, we haven't told them exactly how we want it to be done. And three, we might not even be honest that we're like asking them to like witness and hold our emotions, but we're just trying to like slyly express them and see if they get validated and then judging them for not doing it right. This is The Body Knows,
where we trade self-improvement for self-trust
and root personal development in collective liberation.
I'm Anna Alley.
And I'm Leona Waller.
And we're exploring the revolutionary idea that your nervous system,
with all its seemingly extra reactions,
is actually incredibly wise. We're using somatics
and embodiment
to reclaim the parts of ourselves we were taught to lock away.
Our rage, our sensitivity, our wildness, our desire.
Basically, imagine the scientific method meets dancing around a bonfire.
Naked. We're definitely naked. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're listening, and let's get into it. This one is for the fiery women, but also the very sensitive women. The people who are trying to figure out how to express their big emotions without hurting the ones they love. So I had this realization, and this comes directly from Carrie Nicolette of Erotic Reclamation. You can find them. They got podcasts, they got YouTube, they got Substack, and they have the BDSM framework. I don't think this is their framework, but I learned it from them. And it's about setting up a kink scene. And they suggested that I try to do it with setting up a scene for having my partner hold me in an emotion. Y'all, this was so freeing. It was so freeing to... I'll get into like how we set it up in a second because I'm sure you guys want to know that. But to be witnessed and seen in my partner in a space where I could like go fully into the hurt and the rage in a way that I knew he could hold because of the agreements we set up before we started the scene, and like the time limit and the boundaries and like the aftercare. Y'all, we both felt so much better. Not just I felt better, but he felt so much better because he was like, I finally know that you're not like hiding anything from me. I finally know that you have got everything off your chest, because we were able to find a safe way for me to get it all out. Okay, so here's the framework. BDSMA. BDSMA. B stands for boundaries. What are the boundaries you want to put on the scene? D, desires. What do you desire out of the scene? S, safety. That can be physical safety if you're doing like physical kink, shibari, things like that. But it can also be emotional safety. M, meaning. What does this scene mean? I will get more into that one. And A is aftercare. So I started by just kind of laying out the scene for him. I was like, I want for you and I to set up a scene where I can express some anger. So we just worked through, starting with B, boundaries. So we talked about it, and he was like, I can probably hold for around 5 minutes, but I want to make sure you get everything out. So I was like, okay, let's do 6 minutes, because I feel like if I'm raging for 6 minutes, that's a lot of time, with the option to check in at that 6 minutes and be like, do I have anything else to say? Are you still good? Are you still holding? Can I add another minute? So 6 minutes with options to add. And then my boundaries were like, I don't want you saying anything while I'm processing. You can give me facial expressions, you can nod, but I don't want any conversation. I want this to be my time. And his boundaries are like, soft spots of like, I don't want you to make reference to one of these insecurities, things like that. And then desire. I was like, my desire is to be able to not just like say what I'm upset about, but to be able to like really move the energy around it, and like be able to like raise my voice and like we were doing this virtually. We were doing this on a Zoom call. So, my desire is to be able to move my body and, like, to be able to get big and loud and not have to keep it so, like, polished. And his desire was similar. He was like, "I want you to be able to say everything that's on your mind. I don't want you to have things that you're not saying." Um, and then BDS, so safety, emotional safety in this case. I was like, we have in scenes from Carrie Nicolette, we've been taught the safe words yellow and red. Yellow means I just need things to slow down. Maybe I'm starting to lose my center. Maybe I'm starting to disassociate. Maybe I'm starting to just get overwhelmed and I just need like a pause to come back to myself. Yellow is slow and red is stop. Like I need everything to stop and reassess. And so my big safety thing was like, I need to know that you will say yellow or red if I'm saying anything that's like really triggering to you, and that you will set new boundaries if you need to. And he was like, absolutely, can do. And for his safety piece, he was like, I think that's going to come more in aftercare. What I need for emotional safety will come afterward. And then M, meaning, this was such a beautiful one. He was like, really, the thing that I'm worried about this means is that you're testing me right now. And this is a test to see like how well I can handle your big emotion. And I just want to make sure that this isn't a test. That isn't what's happening. And I was like, nope, this is not a test at all. And my meaning from this is not that I don't actually feel like I need a repair conversation around what I'm expressing. I just need space to express it. And if anything comes up afterward that we need to have a repair conversation around, I'm here for it. But my meaning is I don't feel like I need an apology from you. I just want to be able to express how some things have been landing for me. And my meaning is not that like I'm questioning our relationship at all. It's not that besides like what I say in the scene, like there is no other meaning. And in the scene, I'm going to say some things about how certain things have been landing and how I would like it to happen differently. But I want to be able to say it in this like big, fiery way. And then the last one was aftercare. And the beautiful thing about aftercare that I think a lot of people don't realize in scenes is that both people get aftercare. All people get aftercare, depending on how many people you have in the scene. So my aftercare, we decided that like my aftercare would be first. And I was like, I need a couple minutes of you just saying things like, I see your bravery for bringing that to me. I see how that has been hurting you. I hear what you want to be done differently. Yeah, just really witnessing and affirming me. And his aftercare, he was like, I want then to have 3 minutes, I believe our timer was, for you to say things that you love about me. And for him to have a chance to, if he feels like there's anything he needs to clarify. So, like, if I say anything in my anger scene, that he feels like there's just like there was something about, I was like, I feel like you feel this way. And he was like, in the aftercare session, he was like, just to be clear, I don't feel that. And I'm sorry if it's come across that I feel that, but I don't feel that. So that was part of his aftercare. And then we did it. And it was fucking amazing. And, in the embodiment world, we can get so into this, like, I'm expressing my truth. I'm just expressing my heartfelt truth. And look, I am a huge proponent of expressing emotional energy and moving emotional energy through. But we need to do that safely. And we really need to find ways to do that safely in our partnerships. And safety involves, first of all, consent, informed consent, so they know what they're getting themselves into. So my boyfriend knew like how long He didn't know what I was gonna bring to him, but he knew that there were certain things, like, I wasn't gonna say parts of him that I wasn't going to attack, and he also knew that he had full permission at any point to say yellow or red. So informed consent and boundaries, that he was able to put boundaries into place, and that was so huge for both of us being able to fully honor the emotional energy that wanted to come through my body in that moment. You can see examples of people processing emotional energy and expressing emotional energy in places that are harmful, that aren't appropriate everywhere, especially online, right? And when we realize that if we have expectations about like how I want to be met in this emotional energy, I want to be seen, I want to be validated, I don't want to be argued with. Like, if we want those things, we need to explicitly set up containers for those things. I mean, you don't have to. I'm guessing a lot of us aren't. Let me know how that's going. It wasn't going so well for me for the past 30 something years. But when we can do that and when we have someone who's willing to receive it on the other end, it can be such a beautiful experience. Like at the end of it, we were both so emotional, and he especially was saying like, "I'm just so grateful. I know exactly where you stand." Like, he's like, "I felt that you gave me everything." And the boundaries he set didn't limit me expressing. They required that I not say certain things in certain ways, but they didn't require me to not express what I was feeling. And it allowed me to let go of like this micromanagement that I think plenty of us also have thanks to these beautiful frameworks. Like, I'm so grateful for frameworks like nonviolent communication and imago dialogue and things like that for giving us frameworks. But sometimes when we want to bring our truth with the full energy, and when I say truth, I mean like what we're feeling, our subjective lived experience with the full emotional energy behind it, we have to set up containers. We have to set up containers if we want it to be the cathartic and like intimacy building relationship that it really can be. Really, this is part of a larger theme that I'm exploring in my life right now and want to bring to all of you around just getting so honest with myself about what I'm needing and wanting, rather than expecting my partner, my friends, my family to anticipate, to intuit, to know because it's what I've been giving them this entire time and they should be able to tell because it's what I've been giving them, that it's what I want. Instead of any of that, reclaiming the power to be so explicit about what I need and want. When we get explicit and when we get specific, like even the aftercare I wanted from my boyfriend was like, I wanted him to use certain sentence structures. And it felt so good to own that. And and to see the reflection of him being like, "Oh, oh, I would have had no idea the difference between like these different sentence structures if you hadn't pointed it out and you hadn't asked explicitly. And thank you so much for doing that because now I know how to meet you better every single time because you like these certain sentence structures. I see versus I feel." Just the empowerment that can happen and how many little arguments, especially in our relationships, are caused because we don't even know explicitly with ourselves what we want and need in this moment. And so, just that invitation to the BDSMA framework to really start to lay out like, if I had a scene that, I mean, it can be sexual, but it doesn't have to be sexual to fulfill a specific need. What's the exact thing that I'm wanting? And sometimes it's like, you know, tangible. Like in this case, I was like, in the aftercare, I was like, I want you to explicitly say, like, to affirm and validate. Like, I see you, I hear what you've been saying, etc. But sometimes what you're wanting is actually like more of an energy. You're like, actually, I don't have things I want you to say, but I have an energy that I want you to bring. And I'm not so worried about the things that you say. Or I have an action that I want you to take, and getting even into those nitty gritty details of like, what's the real nutrient that I'm craving? Or what's the real affirmation or validation I need? What's the real love language that I need? And us just getting into those details for ourselves is so empowering because we are no longer waiting for our friends, families, partners to guess what we haven't even clearly laid out for ourselves. At the end of this process, me and my partner were in like the ooeyest, gooeyest, most delicious pile of mush. I'm gonna just say the woo-woo thing, like it felt like a karmic shift, the way that we met each other today. Thank you so much for listening to The Body Knows.
If this episode helped you breathe, reminded you you're not broken,
Or maybe awakened a long-lost part of you,
subscribe, leave a review, share it with someone who needs it.
and then come back for more.
Because the body is a universe of pleasure and power.
And we're exploring the whole damn thing.